The way I understand it, once upon a time there was a rather successful manga series based on the idea of Japanese ghost stories. This manga had the terribly original title of Ghost Stories. Ew. I have to wash my hands now. Ghost Stories. As often happens with successful manga, which differs from comics in that you read it backwards, there came to be in the fullness of time an anime based thereupon which bore the same name. I'm told that the anime often functions as a sort of advertisement for the manga, in the same way that most Saturday morning cartoons are essentially 30-minute advertisements for little plastic figures that have a tendency to break and lose pieces. I guess books, even comic books, are better than plastic toys, right? Unfortunately, there was a tiny problem. Though the manga itself was insanely popular, the anime was not. In fact, it was rather boring and generic, and generally a disappointment. Nevertheless, someone decided that it should be released stateside for reasons, apparently. Either because its performance in Japan had been so lackluster, or because it wasn't expected to do well in the US, or perhaps because whoever made these decisions had had a bit too much sake at the time. The localization team was given a rather unprecedented mandate. When recording the English dub, they could do whatever they wanted, so long as they didn't change how the ghosts were defeated. Itch. Darn helmet, itch. I shall endure. Where was I? You might expect that the localization team would take their responsibilities seriously, perhaps attempting to give the most faithful translation possible, and taking only such liberties as was necessary in the performance of that most solemn task. If this was in fact your expectation, however, you would be quite hilariously wrong. The English dub is anything but serious.
It's the chick from The Ring! I mean, The Grudge! What movie are we ripping off again?
Grudge!
Yeah. The Grudge!
Apparently she got sick all of a sudden last night and was taken to the hospital.
Why? Why?
I don't know. Even the doctors don't seem to understand what's going on. Thorough examination, that's what she's getting.
You know, I could give her a thorough examination.
No, you can't. I'm going to the hospital and I'll check on her later.
I'll go too! Leo, I'll need my rubber gloves back.
You don't want them back. That's a long story. But that's beside the... You guys? She's looking straight at us. I don't think we hit very well.
Shirotabi, my friends over there think you're a rabbit serial killer. And in the movies, this would be the part where I foolishly trust you not to kill me. And stick my hand in the cage.
One wonders what the localization team was thinking. Then, one wonders what they were smoking. Then, one wonders how they got away with it. Finally, the thoughtful viewer is left wondering if there's anything else out there like it, and how they can get their hands on it if it exists. Of course, there is another kind of viewer. The kind who is ever watchful, ever on alert for new things to take offense at. And with the popularity of social media and cancel culture, this sort of person is more vocal than ever. If you happen to be that kind of person, you will definitely be rewarded with a wealth of opportunities to take offense. If you'd like to play the race card, take a look at this.
you!
Well, he's not racist.
I guess not. He's only 0.2 seconds faster.
If stereotypes offend you, take a look at this.
All right, good morning, everybody. Let's see who's cut class today. Ioma,
Here.
Harris,
Here.
Tubman Funkowitz,
Here.
Bashir, here, Fister.
Mr. Cicada.
You're not Fister, be quiet.
I mean-
Let's move on here. Girardi. I'm here. Campbell.
So,
Emunchuk. Sprekta Megankai. Crapper.
In short, whatever your preference in ist or forward imprecations, you can find someone here to be offended at, which you can use as an excuse to try and ruin things for people who have a functional sense of humor and don't want everyone else to be as miserable as them. Me, though, I have a sense of humor, and I love ghost stories.
Heil Hitler.
At least, the English dub. The original Japanese subs, not so much. Seriously, if you like anime and have a sense of humor, you need to track down a copy of this. No, don't thank me, just heed my advice. You'll be glad you did. And if you're that other sort of person, you'll be glad too. The wealth of things you can find to be offended at will sustain you from months of angry, self-righteous tweets and comments. Earlier, you may have been wondering if there was in fact anything else that was like the English dub of Ghost Stories. I may be wrong, but at present I know of no other full-length anime series that's been given the same treatment. However, there is a fan dub of Ralph Bakshi's Lord of the Rings, Part 1, edited and dubbed over by walking tacos that must be seen to be believed. And it can be rather hard to find. It isn't official, not by any means, but it is perfectly legal. So long as you own the copy of the actual film, that is. So, what exactly did they do to Bakshi's, effort?
Charlton Heston, the greatest actor. Oh, it's glad to see you here. I've been a fan of all your movies. I especially liked The Ten Commandments.
I am no longer Charlton Heston. I'm Haruman.
But in the books it was Saruman.
Who gives a crap what the writer Tolkien thought? This manicure gives me the right to name myself whatever I want you to call me.
What talk is this?
As you may or may not be aware, this curious, mostly cartoon, was released in theaters as the complete Lord of the Rings. It seems that it was felt that if audiences knew the truth, they wouldn't pay to see it. Moviegoers didn't discover they'd been duped until the credits began to roll. By then, it was too late.
It's the end? How is this the end? The title of the film isn't The Lord of the Rings Part 1. All the adverts and posters did not mention the movie just giving up on itself like this. This movie was only barely understandable for people who actually read the book. How does this movie even have the squally to kill over at the most random time? It's confusing the people who didn't read the book, not to mention the ones who did.
Aragorn, calm down. I'm sure there are answers for this sort of thing. Wait, let me check Wikipedia, bringer of all of unbiased wisdom and information.
Oh, those final shots were brilliant.
Can't be serious, Gandalf. It's really bloody and violent. Peace out, bro.
Oh, pipe down, Bilbo, you bilberry wine-drinking midget!
Ah, there we go. According to Wikipedia, the film was originally intended to be distributed as Part 1. United Artists executives told Bakshi that they were planning to release the film without indicating that the sequel would follow, because they felt it would, that audiences wouldn't pay for half of a film. Excuse me?
I wanted to save this for when I tackle Lord of the Rings, and perhaps I shall revisit it. But for now, it remains one of the most hilarious things I've ever run across on the internet. And I'm greatly saddened that I have never encountered it again. It beats the stuffing out of The Lord of the Rings in 10 minutes, or perhaps it's 8, with Godzilla as the Balrog found on the Tolkien Sarcasm page. But we'll get to that at the proper time.
For this final part of our show today, we have an expert on anime who's been who's agreed to stop by our studio for an interview. Due to the potential of revealing confidential insider information, our expert's likeness and voice have been disguised. Good afternoon, and thank you for joining us.
Good afternoon.
Okay. We're glad to have you here today. Tell us, would you say that you're an expert when it comes to anime?
No, I am not.
Close enough. We couldn't find anybody else to interview. Tell me, do you watch any anime these days?
No.
Still, close enough. Why don't you tell us about a series from your past you're familiar with?
Dragon Ball.
And how are you familiar with Dragon Ball?
Used to watch it when I was younger.
Tell us, are you aware that instead of fighting to collect Dragon Balls, you can simply buy a set off of Amazon?
Yes.
Good. Perhaps Amazon will sponsor us now. Are you aware that Amazon offers a wide variety of additional Dragon Ball merchandise at affordable prices?
Yes, I knew that.
Excellent. So are there any other anime properties that you might be interested in purchasing merchandise from?
No, not at this current time.
I see. I'm sure Amazon will be very disappointed. So, can you tell us what Dragon Ball means to you? And remember, we have a time limit here, so you can't take 3 episodes to do it in.
Not at this current time.
Well, thank you for that truly amazing insight. Tell us, dare we ask, is there any aspect of anime you think might be improved upon?
More male nudity.
More male nudity?
Yes.
You are aware that there are plenty of series that feature a large amount of said nudity.
But more. Yes, more.
And do you think any additional female nudity is necessary to counterbalance it?
No.
Okay. Now, what sort of nudity are we talking about? Are we talking about upper body, rear view, full frontal?
Whatever we can get away with.
I see. Okay. More male nudity. I'm sure that will be interesting. Lastly, what do you think we can look forward to out of Japan for the coming year?
Tentacle porn.
Tentacle porn, I see. And do you anticipate this being in conjunction with the additional male nudity you mentioned earlier, or is this something entirely unrelated?
It could be related, if done correctly.
I see. Well, I think that's something we can all eagerly anticipate in the months ahead. Thank you for dropping by and sharing your unique and amazing perspective.
Thank you for having me.